Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So, last night was a very long night. Um, we did lose one puppy last night. Um, and, um, and unfortunately, it was a little female. Um, and there really wasn't anything that could be done. I did try, ran to the store and spent a bunch of money on stuff. But but anyway, puppy didn't make it. Um, I was up till almost 6 a.m. with the puppy. Um, Giving literally minute by minute round the clock care and just trying to you know, feed the puppy, stimulate the puppy, everything that I could do. But it was the same thing that has happened to me before. It happened to Reese before. It happens to all breeders. And basically, you basically have a birth defect that you can't see, but that's preventing the puppy from growing and prospering. And one of the ways that I've noticed to see these puppies, so the thing is like when the puppies are first born, you can't tell because they all look just alike. They're all misshapen, and their heads, and they're just very similar. And then what happens is what's called failure to thrive. They also call it fading puppy syndrome. And basically what happens is that the rest of the puppies mature, they grow, they develop, but that other puppy did not. And there was no progress. The puppy was just fading. Instead of growing, the puppy was very dehydrated and just really unfortunate. It's always really sad. And that puppy, so usually that happens, I thought we were safe. Usually that happens in the first 3 days. But this litter is just, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty dang big. And somehow that puppy just made it a little bit longer. And unfortunately that wasn't a good thing because it just made that the process of fading take even longer. Not gonna lie, last night I was kind of wishing that we had a way to humanely put these puppies down, because in the past mine have, as soon as I start to see it, by the time that I'll feed you in a minute, girl. By the time that you notice that something's going wrong, the puppy will start to make this cry, and that's how you know. And no digging, no ma'am, yeah, no ma'am. And anyway, and so I try to do my best to comfort them during that time, and different breeders handle that in different ways. I know that there are some that will take care of it themselves, but I could not do that. And don't get me wrong, I felt horrible about it because it's something that I think is necessary. Like had I been able to take this puppy to the vet and just had it put down, I would have. But unfortunately I couldn't. Savannah had to be at school. She was asleep. I couldn't leave. I have to watch all these puppies and Mona, and I just couldn't leave. And so I did what I've always done, which is, I try my best to just provide as good of supportive care as I can, keep him as comfortable as I can. And this puppy just did not want to let go. And eventually it did, but but it was not easy for any of us. It wasn't good for Mona, because at first I was like, a lot of times we'll just leave them in there with their mom, because the thing is like, I don't want to stress the puppy out any more than what is already happening by it fading. And also the mother, the mother's going to miss the puppy. She'd rather it be in there. But Mona is a particularly watchful and caring mother. And she really, I could tell, was stressing out a lot about the puppy. And so anyway, I grabbed the puppy and tried to provide as good of care as I could, like supportive care. And so anyway, but long story short, like I said, there's nothing that can be done about it. Reese's, Melina's puppy, the one that passed, actually passed at the same days of age. And they're, Melina's a pretty big female too. That litter was very big. So I think that was part of it, was, just the body was able to hold on just that much longer than a smaller one, but the same issues were still there. One of the things that we've noticed is a fetal-like head. So the head it just doesn't mature. And so you'll see this pretty pronounced underbite, and the because the head's not done growing, actually maturing, even out of the womb, and the head will be very narrow, and it just looks very much like a fetus in the head. And so there's clearly something preventing development from taking place. And I don't know what that is. I could have had an autopsy, but honestly, it's a lot of money spent on really, on possibly knowing nothing. You know what I mean? And even if we did know something, it's an answer for which there is no solution, because you can't do anything about it. It's just part of, breeding dogs. And if you're going to do that, you need to be prepared for that. And so anyway, so we all do what we can, but it happens. And so, like I said, I wish that there was I wish that, unfortunately, that doctors and vets and stuff, they just don't give us any solution to that. You know what I mean? Like, if we know that we have an animal that, like a puppy that's going down, we're not allowed to do anything other than take it to the vet. And so it's unfortunate. Like I said, I know that there are people that have done, I have people that I've talked to, and they tell me what they do, and they've been doing it a long time. And anyway, I don't have the ability to do that. And so anyway, but not a happy video by any means. I mean, everybody else is good. I'm not particularly shaken up about it. I've dealt with this enough to where I told myself mentally, you're not going to cry. You're not going to get yourself worked up over things that you can't control. You got enough stress going on in your life right now. Manage your emotions. I'm like telling myself that. And I just kept telling myself, like, just, Lord, if I don't know if you do or don't, but if you do receive puppies, please receive this one. And, give him some peace and take care of him. And so that's what I did. And I'm happy that all of these guys are doing really well. They're growing like weeds. They're big, they're strong, they're healthy, they're happy. And I'm very thankful for that. On another note, Reese and I were talking last night, and and she noticed Melina was displaying some nesting behaviors, and both of us thought that our females were not pregnant, but now she's thinking that Melina may be. And I got Trinity out, was looking at Trinity, and actually Trinity looks like she might have something in there. So we may have another like Jade type situation with Hefe where we've only got one in there. And I hope that's not the case, because one, the smaller a litter is, so 1 to 2 puppies is often associated with birthing issues, because there's when puppies are in the womb, that what starts the birthing process is there's a fetal distress hormone, I think, that's released, which causes them to go into labor, and it's basically like the puppy saying, "I got to get out of here." And so sometimes that doesn't work properly when you don't have enough puppies to produce that. It's too weak of a signal. And I was actually watching Dr. Pol last night, and they had a situation like that. So hopefully that's not the case. I am going to contact my vet and get an x-ray, because I don't want another situation like Belladonna. And for those that don't know, Belladonna, we ultrasounded her. She had like 4 puppies in there. And then when she went into labor, well, she never really went into labor. She just went into distress. And we didn't know that basically the same thing had happened. She had one really big puppy in there. It did not put off enough of the hormone for her body to respond to it, and so she never went into labor, and therefore the puppy died, and it was just, she had to have an emergency spay because her uterus had ruptured. So anyway, I want to be very mindful and, obviously learn from the past. So we'll get an x-ray and we'll see what's going on in there. So I hope you guys are having a good day. And, like I said, this happens. This kind of stuff happens. And I think there's a reason that spot just did not fill. Sometimes things happen for a reason. And so I've moved everybody that was on the Trinity litter, I moved them over to the Velocity litter. But, if she has puppies, then I guess we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.